18th, 2016, Coffee County Board of Education work session to order. Everybody's got an agenda, got a chance to look over it. Any changes or a motion to adopt?
Move to adopt.
Second. Motion by Ms. Worrell, second by Ms. Johnson, all in favor? It was adopted. Invocations, Dr. Banks, would you mind giving our invocation today?
Let us pray. Dear Father God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this opportunity to come together to work on business that will impact the lives of our children. We thank you, first of all, God, for life, health, and strength in this day. We ask you to continue to bless our Board of Education, our superintendent, and all the leaders that we have in our educational system. I ask now, God, that you allow us to work on one accord as we decide to do things that will help benefit education in our community and in the lives of our children. This is our prayer in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
I was going to ask if we were able to start a meeting without Mr. Cunningham here, but he's
Right. You'll see the minutes from the previous month are attached. Are there any questions about the minutes? If there's no questions or comments about the minutes, if it pleases the board, we'll place that on the consent agenda for the regular meeting following this one for approval. Monthly financial report. We have several documents attached. You'll see the monthly financial report, the summary of July 1 through January 31. You'll see that our end of month fund equity is $9,957,058.23. You go to the comparison report, you can see in January fund equity is compared to the previous 3 years.
Dr. Release,
Yes, sir.
you go back to the fund equity sheet and explain that account payable is 3.310.
You want to explain the invoices on hand, Mr. Graham?
That's just, yeah, I'd have to get information on the detail on that. I can get that for you, but that's just something that didn't get processed through. So it's a recognized liability that we're gonna have to pay this next month. So we just have to put that on there to make sure that we have enough funds to cover it. I think we do.
That's the $343.10.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. As you notice with the month over month, we are in pretty good shape as compared to the last 3 years at this time.
This time last year, looked like it increased by $1 million, man.
It's 570,000.
That's not counting what?
I'm sorry.
What I'm looking at 13, 14, 14 and 15.
14 and 15, yeah, we're at 9,388, and this year we're at 9,957.
And this is the best January we've had in the last 4 years. We don't have the January of 11, 12 on here. I'd be interested to see. But we did have the stimulus money in 11, 12, and we had the stimulus money in 12, 13. So,
If you look at the comparison, in February of last year, you said how much it was, 500,000?
Yeah, but I'm looking January to January.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it dropped down.
Okay, I see it now.
Yeah.
It dropped, didn't it?
Yeah, in February it dropped down. We'll begin to see less local tax money come in this, beginning now in February on. December, January. December's your big month, and then you still get a pretty good amount in January. It'll drop off, and then it'll pick back up, March, April, somewhere in there, we get the, utility tax. The utility companies pay their taxes in March, April, somewhere in that time frame, and it just depends on the billings, when they get through. And then that'll be a nice bit of money as well at that
So
time.
Georgia Power,
Right, all the utility companies.
CW too,
Yeah, everybody.
explain how that works.
Well, it's just on their equipment and so on, they've got to pay their property taxes. And so most of it's gonna come from Satilla, EMC, and from Georgia Power. As far as the city of Douglas, I don't know that theirs is, I don't see the details of that. All we do is get a check, and we know it's coming from the utility companies at that time. So,
Railroad might be on it.
Huh?
Railroad might be on it.
the railroad's pretty small. I don't know how big it is, quite honestly, but the railroad car tax, railroad car tax comes in a certain time of year as well. Usually either early or late, just depending.
all right. Are there any comments, questions about the monthly comparison? The detailed financial report that we have.
We're at, what is it, 58% of the year, or through January here, so in some cases we're well ahead of schedule, but then that'll catch up to us as we go through, because these local revenues will begin to drop off little by little. So, but overall, we're pretty close to being right on that 58%, we're 54% right now overall. Expenditure-wise, same thing, 58% of the year, and we're up and down depending on departments, but overall, we're at 43% right now, 44%. And that's your assets, your liabilities, and then the fund balance will $99,570,580. So,
Question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Could you explain health insurance? What percentage did it go up?
It went up, starting in January, $150 a month per classified employee. That's our.
There's only additional.
Yeah, yes, $150 more, so now we're at $746.20 a month on each classified employee. So, you're talking about a 20% increase over the $596 we were paying. And it's due to go up again July 1 of 16. If the 17 budget gets passed, the state budget gets passed, they're talking about another $100 increase a month per employee.
So basically, those people are working for nothing.
Well, that's the portion that we as a school system is paying, that $846 a month, or $746 a month. They're paying anything between, it's a little over $60 a
When you
month.
say they paying, who you talking about?
The employees are paying anywhere from $60 a month to, just depending on what plan they select, and whether they're a single or a family member, they could be paying a couple $100 a month, several $100 a month.
So let's talk about, family member. If their spouse have Blue Cross and Blue Shields, how successful was we to make sure just one have it? And have to carry both?
They have options, they can either do that or United Healthcare. They don't have to have Blue Cross Blue Shield, but I'm not sure, ask the question again.
A couple months ago, we was talking about, like my wife had Blue Cross and Blue Shield.
Right,
And I selected to go with her,
right.
save the system some money. So how many people did we have do that?
I think there were 21 or 22 people overall that went on that shared savings plan. And the net effect after paying the company that helped us put that program together, as well as what we're paying the employees, works out to a net savings to the school system of about $100,000, a little over $100,000.
So we need to keep promoting it.
Yes, absolutely.
Are we doing that though?
Oh, yes, sir.
Well-
Those employees that chose to do it, I'm sorry, but they each are gonna take home an additional amount of money because they're going with their spouse's insurance.
Right.
To the tune of, just depends, I guess.
It depends on what plan they were on, anywhere from $200 a month to $300 a month.
So it's good for the employee and it's good for us. We save approximately $100,000 in insurance. that
So
we're not
when the
paying.
next time we go, promote that?
We'll start to promote that again when we get back around to open enrollment next year in October.
So they should do it one time a year?
Yes, yeah, it's good for the entire year, for all 12 months. So they started in January, and we'll run it from January through December, but we'll begin to, promote it, as you say, August, September for open enrollment in October, so that we've got it, out there for
So if
folks.
somebody come up to you guys and ask you, say, I wanna, go with my spouse, and they wanna do it right now, what would be the answer?
Right now, they'll have to wait till next year till open enrollment. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Now, that's pretty much with anywhere you work, you got one time a year that you can do all that. No matter if you work in the hospital, school, wherever. Pretty much got one shot every year to change
So
that.
we saved $100,000.
Yes, sir.
That's good.
What does that $100 cost us, Mike? Last time. What?
I'll have to get it, it's probably gonna be in the $300,000 neighborhood. I can get an accurate amount. I don't know how many are taking the insurance right now, but we can get that for you.
All right.
We received, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, the unofficial allotment sheet for FY17 from the Department of Education. And we've prepared an analysis of that pending QBE allotment. And as I said, this is unofficial because it's subject to change, but this is what it should look like. Usually this doesn't change much, if any. So, but this is what is projected that we'll earn this coming FY17 for the Coffee County Schools through QBE funding. You'll notice that there's a column for FY16, what we're earning, and then another column for the FY17, and then over under what we'll earn from QBE funding. You'll see that we're earning this year total QBE $43,302,604. And then next year, we'll earn $43,171,567. But if you go down, you'll see the local fair share. We'll pick up $122,988. Total state funds will be down 8,000. But then the austerity, you'll see they're injecting austerity back in to the tune of $1,483,811. And then the charter system will pick up an additional 27,000 to be in the charter system. So we'll earn $683,760 as a charter system. And then equalization, we saw, we'll hopefully see, and this will hold true, a pretty healthy gain in equalization, $518,183, which means that our poverty ranking, we moved down on the poverty ranking, which means we increased in the percentage of poverty in our county, which brings us more in equalization. So, and then nursing, you see we lose a little bit of nursing. Transportation stays the same for a net of QBE of $2,020,663.
Justin?
Yes, sir, thank you. Dr. Lees,
Yes, sir.
is it a number that we have to stay with to enroll pre-K?
We currently have 19 pre-K classrooms that right from the start allot us. And you can sign up to have more pre-K classes if they will give you more pre-K classes. There's a process to request additional classes.
Being a charter system, can we request that?
Well, any system can request it.
How many do we have on the waiting list?
I'm not real sure. Bernie, do you know how many we
On
have?
pre-K, I do not. There shouldn't be many. Usually we're able to serve the students that will get in.
There is a waiting
Eventually.
list.
It is waiting list. How that do you check it out?
I can check and see.
Can we get more classrooms?
Will you make a note of that, Dr.
I
Evans?
will.
You think we'll be able to get some of those kids that's gonna be moving from the school next year, get a start? Have we ever thought about getting 3-year-olds into our system? Teach them early.
Something to investigate.
Gotta help our QBE, LTE.
Right from the start, if they allot you a class, they give you a certain amount of money to staff the class and to equip the class, and it's set at a rate, and it's a set rate. So we don't earn QBE off of pre-K, so.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
Are there any questions about this?
That is as of today.
Yes, sir. We received this early this week, which is good. It's a good report.
Something I should hold.
Cautiously
optimistic.
Yeah.
Ain't no hold, Mr. Chairman. Take some more.
So, yeah, we need to tell our legislators we need it desperately, which we do, and for them to hold firm on the proposed allotments, and hopefully the governor will sign that into the budget this year. So revenues are up at the state level. The economy in the state has somewhat rebounded from the Great Recession, and hopefully those numbers will hold true. Out-of-state travel. We have a group from East Side that's going to Jacksonville. Another group from East Side that's going to Jacksonville. And then the Coffee High School in JROTC is going to tour a battleship and learn about its mission and name in Wilmington, North Carolina.
During school?
Friday to Saturday. Week lunchtime Friday.
Yes, sir. March 4th, they'll leave at 12 noon.
That's Friday.
And return on the Saturday at 9 p.m. They're taking 30 students in JROTC. And that program is an excellent program. They do a lot of really good work. I'm really proud of our cadets and our leadership there. That'll be a great trip for those young people. Surplus property. We have items up for auction. Used office furniture, roofing equipment and supplies, a hot kettle and roof grinder, 3 milk boxes, Manitowoc ice maker. I don't know if I said that right, but Manitowoc, a mini split AC unit, shelving from a work van, TV desk, a growing combi oven, clothes dryer, growing oven, Blodgett combi oven, Glencoe Star reach-in cooler, a Bush Hog 72-inch finishing mower, a 1994 F-250 diesel pickup, a 1995 Chevy van, and yes, this is that green van that you may see around sometime. A 1995 F-150 pickup. And we have 3 buses that are inoperable, as was described to me. Stravish, that hold true for these buses.
They've pretty much taken everything they can take off those buses.
Cannibalized parts off of them to the point where they're not any good to us anymore. A Palmer industrial table saw, a Powermatic industrial wood lathe. So if approved by the board, these will be placed on the consent agenda in our regular monthly meeting immediately following this meeting. (2016-17) school calendar. We have surveyed the staff, and Dr. Evans is here to report the results. Dr. Evans, you want to describe what we have here?
I will. On this first document, you will see the results of the survey that was sent out to all staff members. The first paragraph is first semester option. There were 4 options, and you see the numbers there with option A coming out on top. And the second semester, there were 3 options, and option E came out on top. You'll scroll on down, Chan, that just reminds us what those options were. And then the second document is the proposed calendar based on the results of the survey. There were 510 people that responded.
So which one you like?
It doesn't really matter to me,
How many employees get to vote on this?
everybody.
How many is that?
700,
About 1,200.
800, 1,200.
1,200, and only 500 respond? Shame.
They all had the chance. It went to all these users. But as you can see, the ones that did respond overwhelmingly, it was option A and option E. Just to recap what that is 5 pre-planning days prior to school starting. On August 2nd, There are 5 days for the Thanksgiving week. There's a long weekend there in October. That came as a result of teachers asking to have the day after parent conference as a holiday. So you'll see that October 14th is a holiday following the October 13th parent-teacher conference day. That is the same in both semesters following that parent-teacher conference day.
Mr. Johnson? Thank you. Dr. Lee, have we considered moving school back from August the 7th to August about 12th or something?
That was one of the options that was on the survey. Dr. Adams, do you have any of that information with you?
I do. If you'll go back to the 4 options at the first semester, you'll see that
Still a few days.
the D, the last one,
It wasn't really that much.
would start school on August the 10th
Is
instead
that a
of
week
August the
difference?
2nd. It's about a week difference.
How many parents and teachers conference days we have?
1 first semester and 1 second semester. 1 in October and 1 in March.
Dr. Lee, I have a suggestion. I think it'd be nice if we can have a career day where we teach students about the importance of SAT, ACT, college career, bringing in the military for the kids not going to college. And all we do that day, from the 9th grade on up, then you might want to go to middle school and prepare them for what's going to happen.
Yes, sir.
Because I have a lot of people tell me we ain't doing enough. And then one more thing, on the SAT, I would like to see kids not wait till the last moment as a senior to take that test. So if they take it sophomore year, they take the ACT. And I'm gonna get back to that in a minute. But they can take it the 10th grade year, the 11th, and the 12th. And they don't be waiting for the results. Because that causes a lot of kids not to get into college. Not our doing, but it work all the way around. Everybody get the blame. So we can do that. And another thing I like to see, well, as a system, what was our test scores in the ACT as a sophomore? I think that's important. Because college is not meant for everybody. That's why I'm glad we got that career academy.
Yes, sir.
What's your take on that?
I think it's important that they take the SAT or ACT early, and they can continue to take it throughout their high school career to try to get the highest score that they can get. And I agree, we need to prepare them as well as we can for both of those tests if they're planning to go to college, or even if they think that's an option, they need to be prepared.
You just don't have to be a student athlete to take the test. Because your best way is academic
Yes, sir.
scholarship. If you do your academics, you're going to get one.
That's right.
Is that true?
Yes, sir. There's a lot of students who earn academic scholarships.
I like to know none of that too for the whole board.
Yes, sir.
They
Being
still,
the public.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Ms. Green.
Do they still offer the PSAT?
All 10th graders. take
10th graders take it,
Yes,
yes, I
they
thought.
do.
As a system, do you know the percentage? How did it go, Ms. Green?
I'll have to look.
That's important stuff. I like to see colleges from Ms. Clayton get that information, get it out. Every armed force in the military here. Because I remember when we had our program, we sent kids with the military that weren't prepared for college.
Well, I think we could certainly work on career day, maybe do that along with the conference day, or even if we had another day where that could fit in there as part of that, that may be something we could work towards.
What you think about that,
If
Ms.
we had
I think it's necessary.
Okay.
There's a lot of kids that don't get that information, and they don't have that push from home, and I think we need to do all we can at the school level to let everybody know what's available to them and how many times you can take it. It's just not a one-shot thing, you know. Some think that you get one shot at it, and if they know that you can take it multiple times and improve, then I just think that everybody needs to have that same advantage of a child that has parents at home that keep up to it with that and things that don't.
I agree.
So basically, I mean, the calendar's pretty much self-explanatory.
Well, we were gonna present that to y'all tonight and give it some time to think about it and then ask you to approve it at next month's board meeting. We, thought that'd give the board time to, look at it.
I got one more question, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Johnson?
Mr. Preston elaborated on something about 2 months ago, that we had 27 days not related to school that we was out. Is there any way possible that we can cut back on some of them days? Because parents talk to me a lot of us, why we have so many days out? There are 27. Am I right, Ms. Evans?
I'm not sure I understand the question. We have a 180-day calendar.
Yeah, but we got 27 that we don't attend school.
Spread out during
Within
the school
those days.
year.
I'm spread out during the
Mr.
year.
Presley figured up, I think, what, in the holidays? There was, when we had the discussion about the school calendar, I just went down and tallied up
Right.
the out of school, regardless of what the reason was.
I remember that.
And a lot of them are, there's a lot of national holidays we didn't used to have. We have them now. Or we're out of school for them, and we, the school calendar is just different than it used to be.
Yeah.
So
As
that's
a
my,
former teacher, I can say
But I
that
think
some of
when you
those
count 'em
days
up-
are teacher recovery days.
no, I'm not, I'm just saying that the perception that we start early and end late is, well, goodness, we got almost a month. There's 27 days, that's 5 weeks, plus 2 days.
Well, actually, we used to end in June a long time ago.
We still have 180 days of instruction.
Right, regardless of when
We're
they
not
are.
losing any instruction.
No.
Right.
You don't think 27 days too many people?
Well, you still got your 180 instruction.
And we did propose one of them had taken out a good many of those days, wasn't it? Option,
Some of them were redistributed in
Option
various
D.
places.
the one where.
Option D took some of the pre-planned days off at the beginning and distributed some throughout the year and shortened the Thanksgiving holiday break.
Didn't it shorten the Christmas break? Did it
No,
No.
sir. A little bit,
end
yes.
first
they-
semester on December 21st?
That's
Yeah, that
right.
was
Just
pushing
a little
into
bit.
the
Pushing into the
week before Christmas. Yeah, that was gonna, that option D was gonna do just what you're saying. And it looks like only,
27
27,
out of the 510.
5.4% of our teachers and staff voted for that, or selected that. So evidently, most of the staff like having those days in there.
But really, only a third of the staff voted, so that's half of a third of what. I don't understand why people aren't voting. I mean, I do
It
know.
doesn't matter to a lot of people. They know we're going to go 180 days, and for some people, it just doesn't matter when they start.
I don't know if you've got a breakdown by campus, I'd be interested just to see. I know a few years ago we did that, we
I
had
do.
a breakdown by
I
campus.
do. We drill that further, but it's still predominantly A, and there's no campus that's heavily weighted to another option.
I meant the number of respondents, if you had, obviously we've got more elementary
I
teachers,
do
than we've got
know
other
that.
campuses, so that's gonna be it's just gonna skew that way.
There's a percentage at each campus. And I even sent out a reminder about 2 weeks ago, if you haven't completed the survey, please do so. And then I did
Did
get,
that go on there too?
I did get.
No. Slow, that went on slow.
I got about another 150 responses when I did that, so.
I guess I was thinking that at one time we were discussing the fact that because of Georgia, not necessarily in Douglas, but in many parts of Georgia, that many places rely on the summer months for revenue, and we were looking at starting the calendar even further, not just a week from where we're starting, what was voted on, because the other option was only a week difference. I thought it was further into August, like heading towards September, like back
We
in
did
the
have a
old days.
calendar option last year that did that, and it was not a popular option. There were like 3 or 4 people.
When was it getting out? When was going
It
in?
started like a few days before Labor Day. It was late in August. I pulled up to see exactly. But the issue with these calendars is around the testing, and you need a clean first semester break prior to Christmas holiday. The high school, and we've got some high school folks here, they have to have some turnaround time. They have to look to see which students were not successful in some classes. They need to be rescheduled for second semester. They can't do that overnight. They need some time, a few days, to get those schedules turned around and built for second semester. So that's why we always try to put half of the days prior to Christmas and in that first semester.
Well, thank you. Dr. Lees,
Yes, sir.
have you considered year-round schooling?
You know, we've talked about it, but you're going to go 180 days of school, and if you take up some of those summer months, if you go year-round, you're spreading those days throughout the summer months, and, you know, we
Got more time on
have
it.
not, you know, we didn't include that as an option. But I've had experience with that, and we didn't see any academic gains from it. And that's our mission, is destination graduation for college, career, and life, raising student achievement. And you know, it's something that certainly we've all considered. I think we've all talked about. But
What's the pros and what's the cons about that?
the pros are that you know, you keep the students in class longer throughout the year. The cons are they're going to have, well, they're not going to have any more days of school. You're exactly right. That's right. The cons are they're going to have more frequent breaks, and working parents who set up daycare and such. I think it could put a burden on working parents who have to set up daycare in June and July when they're not used to having to do that.
Just for information, I just want to know the pros and cons. That's all. You explain it. All right.
And we'll keep that on the table and ask the board to approve that at next month's board meeting. All right. Policies. This is a policy that we realized last week that we did not have in our policy manual, and it's a required policy. I talked with Marvine at GSBA, who reviews all the policies. She works in the office with Marvin and Hartley, and as we were looking through our policy manual, she just noticed that we didn't have this policy in our policy manual. She said it's one that we should have in our policy manual. So I'm asking the board to approve
So this is completely
this
new, this
policy.
is not a revision.
This is a policy that should be in our manual that was not in our manual, and the policy alert was sent out, I think, in June or July of 11, and there was a transitional time, I think, here in the school system, and for one reason or another, this policy was not in our manual, but this will ensure that we have this required policy in our manual. And it deals with family members and Board of Education members and administration and such as that.
Please explain that.
There was a state law that was put on the books back, I want to say '09. Let's see, I don't have the, it was around 11. Yeah. Yeah, it was around the time of House Bill 84 that it was put on the books then, and around 10, 11, and it's a law that we should have this policy, so this will go on the table for review for the next 30 days.
And we've been following this policy.
Oh, yeah.
We just didn't have it in our.
No, yeah, we've not done anything wrong, but it should be a policy.
The law's gonna supersede the policy anyway.
That's right, exactly. But Marvin suggested that we go ahead and put this into our manual. And the next item deals with this. The reason I came from that policy was I had talked with Marvin at Harbin and Hartley about a policy review for our school system, a full review from the Georgia School Board Association. We went through that process back in 2006, 10 years ago, in which they will analyze our policy manual and review all of our policies and develop a new policy manual for us with the board's approval, of course, and with the board signing off on everything. But they will update our policy manual, make sure all of our policies are up to date and as they should be. This is a fairly common process for school districts. As I said, we went through this back in 2006, and it's been 10 years. So I would ask the board to approve us going through this process again and updating our policy manual. I like the way they're going to do it. She said they'll set up a policy manual that is not public. It's only, they'll have it, and then they will work through setting up the new policies with the board approval. And then once they get the manual set up electronically as it should be, they'll switch them. And when we have this policy revision completed, we'll have a completely updated version of our policy manual that has been approved by the board, but it'll all happen at one time in a nice clean update of our policy manual. So I think it's a process that'll be good for the board. Yes, ma'am.
So do they tell us what revisions that they'll be making or deletions or
Yes.
before it's done?
They will, yes, ma'am. And, but it will ensure that all of our policies are in compliance with state law, and I think it'll be a good process for us to go through.
Thank you, Mr.
If you don't mind, just-
Go ahead.
I mean, I see the dollar amount there. I was kind of under the impression we were doing that on our own
Yeah.
systematically, that we were taking a policy, reviewing it, having our.
We have somebody doing that.
We are, but if you remember, we reduced the central office staff. We eliminated a position. We had somebody who was responsible for that, and we no longer have that position. And that was the task we were working through. And without that position and the capacity that we kind of lost, we feel like this will be a worthwhile investment for the school board. As I said, it's not an uncommon practice.
Before we had that position, who was doing it before that?
It had not been reviewed, and we've got quite a few policies that need to be updated, and I don't know who I wasn't here.
Anybody know?
I do.
Honestly, I think it's something for discussion. I'd almost be in
Well,
favor.
I'm not asking for board approval tonight.
I appreciate that. I'd almost be in favor of looking at offering some sort of stipend in-house for the service to be done locally. I mean, we've got professional educators employed in the school system. I can't imagine the GSBA's got anybody smarter. That's just fine. I mean, we're really gonna spend that amount of money, unless, I
Keep
mean,
it moving.
I agree, or we probably have maybe somebody that could do it as a responsibility that, of things that they're already doing.
maybe during the summertime.
Hey, let's keep things right here. How much money we talking about?
It's, the proposal, is, I think the first payment is 3,000. The first payment is $6,250. The second payment would be $3,125, and the third payment is $3,125.
How many old policies you think we have in that manual? I've seen a lot of.
We've got quite a few that go back, and you want to seek legal counsel on that, and they'll run that through Harbin and Hartley. Any changes that they make, they will run through their law firm there. So you're paying for the legal fees
So we're
too.
talking about, that's $12,000. Now, I think we got some teachers who did assistant of Mr. Cunningham and take this stuff out of the policy manual that's old and updated. Go on their website, GSBA. And let them sit in that room and get it right.
Mhm.
We save $3,000 or $4,000, I think. That's my opinion.
Well, we can probably do that. I mean, we can do that. And
Is that
I would
legal,
object to it
Sid?
Yes, sir.
if,
How often does this need to be done? I mean, if we did this with them or somebody in-house, and I understand there's gonna be every year some follow-up, but how often do you need a thorough, I mean, we're saying we haven't done it in a while, but what would be the recommended every 3 years, 5 years?
well, I think once we do this, and we may not need to do it again for another 10 or 15 years, maybe 20 years.
So we need
As long as we stay on
one.
top, but I'd like a good thorough cleanup.
Well, okay, so we need one good go-through, and then obviously the maintenance that goes year in.
That's right.
Okay.
It was done, last time it was done, 2006.
That's right.
And after we paid them that money, we didn't have to do it no more until now.
Well, you've been through, I think,
Six.
about 6 administrations
Yeah.
since then. So,
Well, so-
and I've been putting it off for, this is my 5th year, so I've been putting it off for a number of years, but I've just reached a point where I feel like it would be good for the school system to do it. But, we can do it in-house, if that's the pleasure of the board.
Could they do half? And we do half?
Well, that's,
I think we'd be better off though, I mean, if you get somebody working on half of it, somebody there, I think you get one person either way to do all of that. I think
Yeah.
you'd end up crossing hairs then.
Yeah, I'd certainly like to look at the feasibility of keeping it in-house, because we're also looking at travel expenses. as
Well, so I think,
So,
yeah, what we're saying is we really need to be done, but let's look at maybe, what would be feasible for us to do it.
Yeah. Well, we can set up the process in-house to do it, if that's the pleasure of the board. And, so,
The oldest policy in that manual, around by 1991 to 1992.
that's right.
and I appreciate GSBA wants to keep their lights on too, but we gotta pay for our lights first.
Yeah. I agree.
All right.
All right.
And Doc,
Yes, sir.
I know I come here to work tonight because I'm in a rush. So I'd like to know when you ever decide that, I'd like for the board to get a copy of all the old policies just to know the importance of that 1 hour job.
All
I'd
right.
like to see.
Well, I wasn't asking for
I
approval
know.
on this tonight, I was just presenting it. So am I hearing the board say we'll just take this off and not have it on the agenda for next month? Just strike it?
We're talking about
All right.
it more at the retreat.
All right.
And I think that would be, like I say, if you do try to do something in-house, that will probably give us a little bit more access to, I mean, that's a third of our job is policy, so that would give us someone close to us that can come say, hey, here's what,
Yeah.
so that might be good.
All right. All right. Audience member participation. Do we have any audience participation? All right. No audience participation. Then that's all we have.
Sure, Jason.
And at this point, I would ask to move to an executive session to discuss personnel and also to discuss issues involving students, or student and personally identifiable information.
Make a motion to move to executive session.